Our world is divided into hundreds of countries, small and big. With this huge number of nations in the 21st century, it's impossible to keep track of all of them. Unless you live under a rock, you've heard of huge nations and global powers like the United States and China, and due to recent events, Russia and Ukraine too. However, there are tiny island nations and other countries that dot planet Earth, each one bringing with it its own characteristics and quirks. Without further ado, here are 10 countries you probably didn't know existed. Number 10. Djibouti. The Republic of Djibouti is a small African nation bordering the Red Sea, Somalia, the Gulf of Aden, Eritrea, and Ethiopia. Djibouti is fairly small, under 9,000 square miles. Djibouti is also home to less than 1 million people, making it the 156th most populous country. Djibouti was colonized by France and has been independent since 1977. The capital of Djibouti, also called Djibouti, is home to around 600,000 people and is the biggest city in the nation. The majority of people ethnically identify as Somalia, at around 56.2% of the population. 94% of the population is Muslim, the remaining 6% Christian. Djibouti ranks 171st in terms of nominal GDP, with a GDP of $3.8 billion US. Although a small desert country, it certainly is worth a visit. Number 9. Kiribati. Kiribati is an island country in the Central Pacific Ocean, home to only around 120,000 people, ranking it at 178th for population, and is only 313 square miles. Colonized by the British, Kiribati gained independence in 1979. Kiribati is one of the poorest nations in the world, with a nominal GDP of only $200 million US. Tourism is a major part of the small nation's economy, so is unfortunately hit hard with travel restrictions in 2020. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't travel there here. Its location in the Pacific Ocean means it boasts beautiful tropical scenery. Kiribati consists of 33 atolls, reef islands, and even a raised coral island. Number 8. Benin. The second African nation on the list, Benin is located in Western Africa, bordering Togo, Nigeria, and Burkina Faso. With a population of 12.5 million people, Benin ranks at number 127. Its capital, Porto Novo, is home to 264,320 people. Colonized by the French, Benin gained independence in 1960, and from 1972 to 1990 was under the title People's Republic of Benin and had a communist economy. Presently, the major industry in Benin is cotton and other cash crops. It's also an agricultural economy, producing yams, corn, peanuts, rice, and cashew nuts. Unfortunately, it shares the same fate as most other sub-Saharan countries, ranking at 127 in nominal GDP, with a GDP of $18.3 billion US. Benin has tons of wildlife, along with historical ruins and temples to share with us. Number 7. Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein is a small European country with Switzerland to the west and Austria to the east. Liechtenstein is only 61 square miles large and is home to less than 40,000 people, making it the 189th most populous country. Liechtenstein has a nominal GDP of $6.8 billion US, putting it ahead of Montenegro but behind Tajikistan. The major industry in Liechtenstein is manufacturing, but the country is also known for tourism. It is also the only known country where one can rent out the entire country for $70,000 a day, and being the only country entirely in an alpine region surrounded by the stunning Alps, this seems like the perfect wedding spot if you can afford it. Number 6. Brunei. Like all the other countries on this list, Brunei is a little-known country in Southeast Asia, surrounded by Malaysia and the South China Sea. With a population of only 430,000 people, Brunei ranks as the 169th most populous country. Around 200,000 people live in the capital, Bandar Seri Begawan. Like many countries in Southeast Asia, Brunei was under British rule and only gained independence in 1988. With an estimated nominal GDP of $35 billion US, it ranks it at 104. Oil and gas is a major part of Brunei's economy, making up more than half of Brunei's GDP and 90% of its exports. Number 5. Andorra. Andorra, like Liechtenstein, is a small country in Europe, this time being nestled in the Pyrenees Mountains between Spain and France. With a population of around 185,000 people, Andorra is the 185th most populous country in the world. Economically, Andorra is in a very interesting situation. Andorra only has a 10% income tax for residents and companies, a 4.5% value-added tax, and most importantly, no sales tax. This duty-free shopping experience brings in millions of tourists each year, which contributes hugely to its $3.4 billion GDP. Another interesting economic advantage of Andorra is its use of the euro as its currency, despite not being an EU member state. The euro is an extremely powerful and strong currency, and by using it, Andorra is better off economically than other small countries. Its status as a luxurious ski town makes it an amazing place to visit. Number 4. Comoros. Comoros is a group of islands in the Indian Ocean northwest of Madagascar. The nation is about 2,000 square kilometers and is home to almost 760,000 people. With a nominal GDP of around $1.3 billion, Comoros is the 195th wealthiest country in the world. Agriculture contributes to 40% of the economy. Interestingly, whilst it's considered an overseas French territory, Comoros has their own president. The low amount of tourism compared to other places makes it a hidden gem for those who can make the trip. Number 3. Dominica. Dominica is a small country in the Caribbean, not to be confused with the Dominican Republic. The small island offers natural hot springs and beautiful rainforests. The 186th most populous country, Dominica has a relatively small population of 72,000 people. Agriculture makes up 40% of its $635 million economy. This small GDP makes it the 205th wealthiest country in the world, just below American Samoa. Major industries in Dominica include soap, coconut oil, tourism, furniture, cement blocks, and shoes. Dominica was colonized by the French and gained independence in 1978. Dominica gets around 200,000 tourists annually, but most people are on cruises, so don't contribute as much to the economy as other countries. Number 2. Tuvalu. Tuvalu is an island nation of 9 islands located in the South Pacific Ocean, about halfway between Hawaii and Australia. Although an independent nation, Tuvalu is a part of the British Commonwealth, hence the flag. It consists of around 30 atolls and reef islands. Tuvalu is the 194th most populous country, only home to a little more than 10,000 people. With major industries of fishing and tourism, Tuvalu is one of the poorest countries in the world, with a GDP of only $66 million. Unfortunately, due to climate change, this little-known country is in serious trouble from the rising waves. Niue. Niue is a small island in the South Pacific Ocean, around 1,500 miles northeast of New Zealand. Niue has an extremely small population of only 1,620 people. This makes it by far one of the smallest countries in terms of population. In fact, Niue has seen a majority of its population leave for New Zealand. Its relationship with New Zealand goes farther than that, too. Niue is a self-governing country, although it's in free association with New Zealand. Because of this, residents of Niue are also citizens of New Zealand, and Niue is under the control of the Queen of England. Niue also has an extremely small economy. Its GDP of $24 million mainly is made out of industries surrounding passion fruit, honey, and coconut cream. Niue is a safe place and should be on people's travel lists. The world is filled with hundreds of countries, so it's obviously impossible to keep track of every single one of them. However, the countries we just talked about are what we believe are the least well-known countries in the world. From Central Europe across Africa down to the Pacific Ocean, each country offers something unique, whether it's a geographical location or amenities that can only be found in that place. I hope you enjoyed, and please comment below if you want me to go in depth on any of the countries mentioned today.